Hey guys, these are the worst bosses in every Call of Duty Zombies game. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you like more of these videos. Hit me up on my Twitch. We're going to be streaming, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Let's get into the video. Starting with World at War, and basically the exception that I made for this is obviously World at War only had one boss, those being the Hellhounds. So what I instead wanted to do was focus on which version of the Hellhounds were my least favorite, and I would have to say that would be the Black Ops 3 Hellhounds. The reason I think of this is because the dogs in BO3 were just far too easy to kill and took away from the original conception of the dogs themselves, where they contrasted really well with the zombies. The zombies were extremely slow and predictable, however in numbers they could overwhelm you. The dogs, however, had their own dedicated rounds. Fog would roll in, reducing the visibility. They were fast, aggressive. They had their own spawning in animation with the flash of lightning. However, in Black Ops 3, you just had so many overpowered tools at your disposal, and I think the dogs themselves also had less health. The upgraded weapons, double pack-a-punch, all the rest of it, completely trivialized the dogs, and in the Giants at the very least, they spawned in mid-round with the zombies, which again just rendered them from this once imposing, terrifying presence on the map to just another boss enemy that you have to deal with, just nothing special, kind of like Nova Crawlers, just nothing too significant, just another enemy you have to deal with. For Black Ops 1, we have the astronaut zombie, or the cosmonaut from Moon, and I really hate this guy as he just doesn't offer anything to Moon. I considered the Nova Crawlers at first, but there are ways to mitigate them or to make them more bearable. The astronaut, on the other hand, has nothing going for him. He moves incredibly slowly, emits almost no sound whatsoever unless you're really paying attention to the small crackles of audio he has, and if he grabs you, he doesn't damage you initially, but he will grab you, steal one of your perks, usually Jug or Speed Cola, and then put you in red health and teleport you to a random part of the map. He just doesn't add anything to Moon. You don't get anything for killing him, and if he takes Jug or Speed Cola, you are in for a very tedious process, as you've got to go back to Area 51 at least once, sometimes twice, just to get that perk back, all because, you were running through the map, you weren't paying attention in the heat of the moment, you run straight into this guy's open arms, he bends you over, has his way with you, and boom, you are missing one of your perks. Again, for Black Ops 2, the worst boss in the game is the Avogadro, and this again, he just doesn't offer anything to the game, he doesn't offer anything to zombies. However, he's still really annoying to deal with, so he will spawn in on transit. When you end the round during a storm, he has a chance to spawn in, and when he does, he just sort of teleports around the place, occasionally comes into his attack phase where he will fire a bolt of electricity at you, and it's only during that point where you can actually damage him, either running up and meleeing him with the knife, the Bowie knife, the Galvanuckles, or by throwing an EMP in his face and one-shotting him. But aside from that, again, it's the same issues with the astronaut. He doesn't give you any rewards, he doesn't add anything to transit, he just spawns in and makes things more annoying for you. For Black Ops 3, it's the Thrasher from Zetsubo. This is probably my least favorite of the big brute type enemy. You have the Panzars, the Margwas and stuff. Kind of the worst of that type of boss for a few reasons. One, if you go down, he will pick you up, put you inside him, he will carry you around, and you have to kill the Thrasher in order to revive your teammate, which is a very interesting idea, but it's bullshit. Let's be honest. Yes, it's unique, but it's complete and utter horse shit. We all know it. He's kind of like a shit Margwa as well, where he has designated weak spots. However, they're either way too hard to hit or pathetically easy to hit. You have the Mesamune, which completely trivializes him, and also there are so many of these guys during the Takeo boss fight that it really makes it one of the worst in Black Ops 3, which is a shame because Zetsubo's Easter egg truly made me like Takeo in a way that I never thought I would. But the fucking boss fight is just brought down by how many of these fucking Thrashers that there are. They were incredibly glitchy on launch, much like the rest of Zetsubo. You could just be minding your own business and they'd randomly one-shot you. Even with Jug, Widow's Wine, doesn't matter, they would just randomly one-shot you. I get that that was an issue with the map as a whole, and it has long since been fixed, but it was still an issue that left a sour taste in most people's mouths. For Black Ops 4, I mean, take your fucking pick. There are a lot of bad bosses in this game, but I think my least favourite were the Catalyst Zombies. They spawned in on all of the Chaos maps, meaning that these guys were the most consistent, annoying pests in any game, because obviously they were on half of the maps. So essentially there's 4 different versions. There's fire, gas, electricity, and water, and individually, 3 of them at the very least are not that bad. You know, you have the fire and the gas ones. The fire ones blow up in your face, the gas ones emit like a toxic cloud. They're not that bad, they're just watered down napalm zombies and, you know, Nova crawlers. You have the electricity ones, which kind of momentarily stun you, kind of like the Avogadro. They also have an electricity attack. That's, you know, they're pretty easy to kill, they're manageable. But the last one, the fucking water one. This guy is such a pain in the ass. He doesn't attack you directly. In fact, he will actively avoid confrontation with the player, and he will instead buff the other fucking zombies. He will buff them, making them do more damage to you, meaning that instead of taking 4 hits and going down, you will take like 2 or 3 hits before going down. Incredibly annoying. He can buff an entire horde of zombies. Just one of these little guys can buff an entire horde of zombies, and if you get cornered, it is incredibly easy to get overwhelmed because of them. And not to mention, they're all not that bad individually, but you can have all fucking 4 of these guys spawn in, and it's just such a pain in the ass. I understand that the vampires and the Nova crawlers from Alpha Omega are not good enemies, but at the very least they're map specific. These guys are on half of the maps in Black Ops 4, meaning that whilst individually they're not too bad, they are all just a constant annoyance when you put them all together. Some probably think I'm a Cold War lover at this point, but I honestly didn't think there was a single bad boss in Cold War. There were some pretty average ones, sure, but there were none that I would consider that bad, and I would say that the Abomination is my least favourite of the good bunch. He is very similar to the Margwa. He has 3 heads, each individual head has a few seconds where they're vulnerable. You shoot them, you pop them, does an insane amount of damage, you know how it works. However, this guy's just not all that fun to deal with, purely because of that fucking laser. And the thing that pisses me off as well is that the laser goes through Ring of Fire, which is bullshit because when you upgrade Ring of Fire, it's supposed to block all enemy projectiles, but it doesn't block this motherfucker's electricity. The lightning tracks you, it damages you through your armor, it just messes you up, and he can use it from a very long range, keep in mind. He has a shit ton of health where not even the Chrysalax can deal with him effectively. You have to get like Death Machines or the Ray Gun in order to reliably take him out. Like I said, I don't think there's a single bad boss in Cold War, but in my opinion, this is my least favorite of the bunch. Also, you guys will be pleased to know I finally got off my ass and made an outro, so